Hey everyone, Ewing here, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about what kind of documents you can expect when you buy a note. What are the documents involved in buying a mortgage note? So I've got a deal that I just did this year, and I'm going to show you all the pieces that I got, and I'll explain what all these documents are. All right. So the first thing you're going to want to have when you buy a note is you want a copy of the original deed to your borrower. Okay, so in this case, I've got a warranty deed with vendor's lien here, which means that I'm not a real estate attorney. So in general, when you see vendor's lien, it means that they bought a property or a house with a mortgage, okay, with financing. And so I've got the original deed to my borrower, okay, shows that they are now the owner of the property. So that's great. Then we've got in Texas, and in many other states, we've got the mortgage document, which they call a deed of trust. And a deed of trust is essentially the security for your mortgage, for your loan. If you're the lender, it secures your loan and your promissory note to the piece of collateral. So I've got a mortgage on this house right over here. And so they have a mortgage securing their loan to this piece of property so that if I don't make my mortgage payments as the borrower, they get to foreclose. Okay. And that's essentially what a deed of trust says is, and again, not a real estate attorney. I'm trying to break this down in layman's terms, but if the borrower doesn't pay, I have the right as the lender, if this deed of trust is in my name as the lender, I have the right to foreclose and basically take over ownership. It's a deed to me in a sense. I'm holding this deed in trust in case you don't pay, I guess. Okay. So that was the original deed of trust from when the borrower got the original mortgage when they bought the house to the lender. Okay. So then the lender got a promissory note signed. And so this is what when you say you're buying a mortgage note, this is essentially what you're buying is a real estate lien note. And a lot of people don't realize that when you have a mortgage, it's actually, come on, camera, there we go. A lot of people don't realize that when you have a mortgage, it's actually two different documents. So you've got a note, which is like a IOU, promise to pay. It outlines all of the rules of the game, right? So it outlines all the terms of the loan term length, the interest rate, if there's renewal, late payment penalties and things like that. I don't know if I said interest rate, how often you pay. All of the rules of the loan are outlined in this note, and it's like a promise to pay, okay? But this document here by itself does not secure you as the lender to the property, and that's why you need to have a mortgage document or a deed of trust as well. So there's actually two pieces of paper. This is getting weird. All right. Okay, so these are the original documents between the borrower and the lender. But now, if I'm a note investor and I buy the note, we're going to have two other documents that are going to transfer essentially the ownership of the note to me as the note buyer, okay, or the note investor. So one of the documents you need is an assignment of deed of trust, okay? So what this does is it transfers that original deed of trust I showed you, which is the security to the property. This is getting confusing. So there's my deed of trust. It now assigns me, if I buy the note, it assigns me now the right to have that security against the loan that I just bought, and allows me the right as the new note buyer, new note holder, to the right to foreclosure and all of that. Okay. So this assignment is going to have you as the new note buyer. It's going to be assigned to you. So now essentially you're in control. You've got the security to protect your investment. Okay. Now, the last one is the allonge to the note. And it's kind of the same thing, the allonge. It goes hand in hand with the real estate lien note. Okay. So this allonge gets added to the note and now says that you're the new owner of the note. Okay. And it even says that right here on the bottom line. It says now pay to the order of, and then it has my company name. Okay. So it references the original borrower, original lender, and the date of the note, the property, and the note amount. And then at the bottom, it now says my name or my company's name, paying to the order of my company. Okay, so that transfers ownership of the original note to me as the note investor. The assignment of deed of trust transfers the security document, which is the deed of trust or a mortgage or a security deed, to me. So now I've got the security of the property if I need to foreclose. Okay. And then the last thing you're going to want to have a copy of is the original deed, just showing that your borrower who's paying you the money now, if it's a performing note, showing that they're actually the owner of the property. Okay. So they're the owner. I'm now the lender, and they pay me every month if it's a performing note based on these documents. Okay. So that's kind of a breakdown. When I got started in note investing, I didn't really know what all the documents were or what it meant to buy a note, like what documents were involved, what transferred ownership. So that's kind of a breakdown, at least in Texas. You might see slightly different documents in other states, but in Texas, that's what it looks like when you buy a note.